This video is about the importance of triggers in GMAT preparation, or of course it could be for any test prep. Now, I see that a lot of people analyze in this way. They get a question wrong and then they see, oh, I got this question wrong. This question is around this concept, so I must not be strong in this concept. So let me go back and revise that concept. The reasoning is that, oh, if I were strong enough in this concept, why would I get this question wrong? So I must not be strong enough. So let me go back and revise that concept. That makes a lot of sense in some way, but let me explain you use an example how that is not very helpful. Let's say I want to not eat chips. A lot of times I find myself eating chips. Now, every time I see myself eating chips, I reason that, oh, I don't have enough willpower. Because if I had enough willpower, why would I eat chips when I don't want to eat chips? Okay, so every time I can say that, okay, I need to increase my willpower, I need to work on my willpower and all that. But that is not very helpful because improving willpower takes a lot of time. Okay, I'm working upon it, but still I'm eating a lot of chips in the meantime. But then I could also end up observing that a lot of times when I'm eating chips, I've actually just come back from picking up my son from the school. Okay, what has that to do with eating chips? Because whenever I go to pick my son from the school, I end up passing near a shop that sells chips. So whenever I go near that shop, I see a lot of packets of chips, and then suddenly I see an increased desire to buy those chips and end up buying those chips a lot of times. If I understand that, then I can choose to change the route which I take to come back from my son's school to my house. And if that route doesn't include a shop which sells chips, it is entirely possible that my consumption of chips may go down, right? So it is about identifying triggers. In my case, I don't want to eat chips, but there is a specific trigger that makes me eat chips, which is that whenever I see a shop sort of displaying a lot of packets of chips, then I feel an increased propensity to buy chips. If I identify that trigger and try to address that trigger, in this case I can actually eliminate that trigger by choosing a different route, then my chip consumption would immediately come down, even though I haven't really improved my willpower, right? Improving willpower is one way to reduce my consumption of chips, but there is another way by identifying triggers that make me eat chips. And that is the same case with GMAT Prep. Of course, you can work on your concepts and application and understand where you're going wrong. And you can keep revising those concepts. But you also need to spend time to understand the triggers that make you go wrong. Probably there are certain contexts, there are certain situations in which you are more likely to commit certain mistakes. You need to identify those patterns in your mistakes. You need to identify those triggers. And if you are able to identify those triggers, then probably the next time you come across such a scenario, you'll just be more careful and avoid that trigger. Okay, so my message here is, of course, you can keep revising the concepts that you're not strong at, but a lot of times your improvement will come from identifying the triggers that make you go wrong in applying those concepts. Thank you.